There is a lot of misinformation out there surrounding the world of CBD. And in this video, what I want to do is I want to give you a breakdown of what is now the largest survey surrounding the world of CBD. So at first, I want to give you a solid understanding from a physiology standpoint of what CBD is and why it's making such a big impact in today's society. So first off, CBD is not psychoactive. It is not the same as THC. It's not even in the same ballpark. You see, CBD acts upon the body in an entirely different way. CBD allows your body to produce more in the way of endocannabinoids. It doesn't even directly stimulate what are called endocannabinoids. It allows your body to produce more. Endocannabinoids are common things. You even find them in chocolate. But what CBD does is it allows your body to produce more, which means that you're able to get the potentially inflammation modulating effects, the potentially anxiety modulating effects, and a plethora of other amazing things that come along with it. But what we have to do is we have to start understanding why there's so much misinformation out there. You see, a lot of this started because in 2014, the Farm Bill was passed. The Farm Bill allowed farmers to harvest hemp, and also allowed farmers to harvest some forms of cannabis, depending on the situation, depending on the state and the territory. But what ended up happening is the United States Drug Enforcement Agency is still enforcing even CBD and hemp in the same fashion that they would enforce cannabis, which is marijuana. So it's a little bit of a confusing situation because in reality, CBD comes from something completely different. And in this world, there's something known as hemp-derived CBD. Hemp and marijuana plants are two entirely different things. In fact, there was a recent US populational survey that took a look at this, and they found that 47% of the US population didn't even know what hemp-derived CBD was. The fact that you can get CBD from hemp, which is closely related to marijuana but is not, is pretty darn amazing. So let's get right into this survey because I found this extremely fascinating, and I think it clears up some of the misinformation and at least helps people understand what can be achieved when you utilize CBD in a proper way. So this survey was called the Brightfield Survey, and it was conducted by the Brightfield Group. Now the Brightfield Group is a large market research group that looks specifically at actionable data in the world of cannabis. And they conducted this survey on 2,400 people. These 2,400 people were members of a large online community known as HelloMD, which consists of 150,000 members that are all either patients or experts in the world of CBD. So there are some key findings with this group, and I want to outline these first before I get into some of the other specifics. Some of the largest findings from this Brightfield survey were that 42% of those that were using CBD products were able to stop their prescription medications. That effective. And 80% of the group that was surveyed found their CBD products to be either effective or very effective at treating their specific conditions. And conditions varied widely, ranging from things like anxiety and depression all the way down to joint pain. So when they looked at this survey, they broke it down into 4 different types of CBD. There was the traditional hemp-derived CBD. Then there was cannabis-derived CBD, which is CBD that's derived from a slightly different plant. Then there was what is called CBD-dominant CBD, which still had 5% of THC. And then there was THC-dominant. So out of these 4, the hemp-derived CBD and the cannabis-derived CBD ended up having between an 82 and an 83% effectiveness rating amongst those that were surveyed. So out of all those groups, the hemp-derived and the cannabis-derived had the biggest effect on treating people's ailments. But out of all of these different groups of CBD, less than 3% of those that were surveyed found them to be ineffective. But where things really start to get interesting is when people started comparing their CBD to their over-the-counter medications and their prescription medications. So of those that were surveyed, 66% of them found their CBD products to be more effective than over-the-counter medications for whatever ailment they were looking to heal from. Then 52% of those that were surveyed found their CBD products to be more effective than their prescription medications. This is some really profound stuff. And when we start to understand the science and how CBD isn't even the same as the traditional psychoactive marijuana, we can really see that this plant could have some very powerful effects on our future and even the future of medicine. So I encourage you to check out CBD for yourself. See if it's something that works for you. I can't tell you one way or the other what's right or wrong, good or bad. but what I can do is lay out the information, lay out the data, and lay out the research. And I think we're going to find over the next few years that the research starts to come through and show us that there are some natural ways to take back control of our health, get control of our ailments, and ultimately be the happiest versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. So make sure that you do your due diligence. Make sure you don't throw CBD under the bus just because there's so much misinformation out there.